Welcome everyone, lovely to have you here, and we have a wonderful speaker, Heather Jean. Heather Jean has had an interesting life experience, but she's tapped into an amazing blessed gift. She has a very clear trance channel to Mother Earth and the divine, and she applies that across all sorts of wellness and healing, but particularly, as you're going to find out in this talk, for New Age parenting. And I think most parents would put their hand up to ask for some assistance and some tools and tips and techniques to be able to manoeuvre their way through the complex world of today. Could I welcome Heather Jean? And let's give her a warm round of applause, and you'll be treated with some beautiful crystal bowl healing as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much and welcome. So, how many parents out there? Do you mind if I just ask what the age of your children are? Down the front here? 2 and 4? Same? 31? 15 to 30. Wow, okay, 5 children. I've actually chosen this topic to speak on. I could have spoken about a lot of different things, but the reason I really wanted to address the issue of new age parenting for the new age kids is because the kids are a lot different now than when we were growing up, and parenting has also changed, and the way that we were conditioned from our own parents necessarily doesn't work on the kids of today, does it? And who as a child grew up thinking, I just wish my mum and dad were happy, or I just wish those people that looked after me were happy. Like if there was a sadness in the family, or did anybody ever think that they just want to make their mum and dad happy? It's kind of a general thing, I think, as a child. You always want, your parents, you look up to your parents, you want them to be happy. And it's one of those core things that we have within ourselves as children, that we want to see our parents happy. And when we see them happy, we actually feel, the children actually feel a little bit more settled inside. And that's why I wanted to address the new age parenting in relation to you being the parent for your own inner child, to start to get a little bit of reflection on what your children need. Because your children are going to be bringing up whatever is unresolved within yourself. I mean, isn't that right? It's like you're having a bad day, and what's happening, your child's having a really bad day. It's usually when there's something going on with the kids and they're unhappy or they're unsettled, that there's something actually happening with you or with some other members of the family that are living within the family. Because the sensitivity of children these days has really become greater than what it used to be, and that's why we have all these different diagnoses out there as ADHD and Asperger's and a lot of sensitivities that are coming through with the children because they learn differently. The way they actually process data is different to the way we used to process data. They process very quickly. So sometimes you may feel like your child's developmental process is not meeting what the standard is, but it can be actually beyond what we've got here. It's just that they process in a different way. And I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of that, because so many times, we can judge ourselves as parents. Who does that? Yeah. And then there's the judgment of the other parents. And that's a really big thing in our society. And they're always judging themselves based on how their children are actually behaving. And then there's all those other people outside judging as well. So I kind of wanted to bring things back to the reality. The reality of when you're parenting your child, you are parenting a part of yourself. And if you think about that, and the way in which you're parenting at that time, are you being a little hard on yourself? Or is there a part of yourself you're not hearing? Our children call us. They call us back to ourselves. And yet it's our natural nature to reach out to them. It's our natural nature to nurture them. And when we do that, there's a part of us that steps outside of ourselves to be present with the child and leaves ourselves on the end of the list. And it's natural as a parent. You're going to want to do that. But what happens is we get tired and worn out, and we need a break. So if we can take those times during our day to actually start to put a little bit more of you into the day, even with the kids. So what do you think would be a way that you could do that? What would be the easiest way you could do? Playing games. Absolutely. And when you're playing games with the kids, what are you doing? You're having fun. So we have to remember the child within us. But as a parent, we get busy, we have responsibilities, we have burdens, we have bills to pay, other relationships and other children to take care of as well. And sometimes we can forget to play. And it's one of the most important things that we need to remember is to have fun. And if we don't talk about it or remind ourselves, we forget. And it's such a simple thing, isn't it? And particularly when the kids are like drawing you in, they're wanting you to play and come and do this, and you've still got a mountain of things that you're wanting to get done. You know, or they're sleeping, so you're wanting to get all those things done while they're sleeping because you can't get it done while they're awake. So we end up not having a break. So what I'm suggesting as a new way of interacting with the kids is to actually bring back that relationship with your own inner child. And remember them and what it is they love to do and how they love to have fun and what they love to do to have fun. So to do that, we need to become present, don't we? And that's one big gap that we miss because of our busyness, because of our day and the responsibility that we have. Our minds are already racing ahead to the end of the day and what we've got to get organised for later on. And we're missing what's happening right here, right now. So what would be something that you could put into your life that would help you to become present? What would be one key thing to do? Forget about the mobile phone. Love it. Love it. Put down the mobile phone. So setting time aside. And not only actually for that activity with the kids, but including yourself in that activity. And one thing that I really encourage with, I have a beautiful program, The Magic of You, that we do. It's an after-school care, and they're classes for kids to develop more of an understanding about the fullness of who they are. And one thing that we do is we do meditation. And it all starts with the breath. And I'm going to get you to take a breath now, deeply into the belly. And imagine you've got a balloon inside of the body. And as you breathe in, the balloon sits in the hips, in the pelvis, the neck of the balloon is in the diaphragm, and the head of the balloon is in the chest. And as you take that breath, you're filling the balloon with life. And as you breathe out, you sink into the body. So we're going to take a breath together. We're going to breathe in, expanding the body with the breath. And as we breathe out, sinking deeper into the body. Now, who automatically, just from that one breath, has noticed a change within the way they feel? What would that change be? What's the difference? Relaxed. Yeah. It's kind of like when we do that breath out, it's like we let go. It's like, it's a relief, isn't it? Because most of the time, because our minds are full of all the jobs we've got to do and what's happening with the kids, and you've got your eyes in the back of your head all the time, we're using a lot of our mental bodies, and what happens is we shorten our breath. We forget to breathe. And the breath is the key to becoming present with your child. But not only present with your child, but present with yourself and how you're feeling. And from that place, you can actually guide your children into that place of peace and relaxation through your own peace and relaxation. It's always interesting, isn't it, on the aeroplanes, because they have that, the stewardess comes out and, in the event of something happening with the plane, what happens is the masks drop from the ceiling. And they always instruct you to put your own mask on first, cover your mouth and your nose so you can breathe before you assist your children. And there's a reason for that. Because if you don't do that, if you do not look after yourself first, you're not going to be able to look after your child and assist to whatever it is that your child needs. And that's our conditioning, isn't it? Our parents, I don't know about your parents, but I know certainly my parents, they were always on the end of the list. My mum, she was a nurse. She was there for everyone. But she was always the last. And most of us as women, that's our conditioning. And the men are busy working, to provide for the family. That's our conditioning. So our conditioning's always taken us away from this moment of self-care, this moment of looking after what it is that we need so that we can be better parents. And we can be better parents by paying attention to what it is our children are showing us about what's happening within ourselves and our environment. They're really good indicators to what's going on. If you watch your kids, of course, they have their own internal, belief systems happening and what's happening within them, for sure. But if you can actually have these quick tools just to breathe and centre, you're going to be able to really sense into and use more of your intuition with your parenting. Because innately you know how to soothe the child. Innately you do. And innately you're going to know that sometimes the child's just going to have to scream it out or cry it out so they can empty themselves. But as the parent, you can be the one in that place of connection to create that space for them to be. And it's such a gift. But it's hard, isn't it? When your child's suffering, it is anxious. You want to help them. You want to fix them. You want to make sure that they're happy and they're okay. But in that panic, it can actually take away from that space for them to actually start to settle into. You're the one that's going to be able to guide your child back to a place of peace. And one of the things I love to do with children is sing. And today I brought along a beautiful crystal bowl. The kids love that. And as you know, as mothers as well, you're carrying them in the womb. They hear you, they hear your voice, they hear the father's voice, they know you. So what's going to soothe them is your voice. And that's going to really help to bring them back. And you know, the wonderful thing about that with the kids is they don't really care how you sound. At the end of the day, it's love, isn't it? It's love that heals us. So when we can love ourselves enough to take that breath, to take that time to be present, it is the biggest gift you can give your child. The child within you and the children around you. So I'm going to, this is a beautiful Egyptian blue tone. It's the Hathor Bowl. And if anyone knows anything about the Egyptian goddess Hathor, she is the goddess of fertility and music, and she represents mother. And I brought her to play because when you actually play certain frequencies, because as we spoke, the children have new frequencies, they have a finer frequencies, so whatever you listen to in your environment does affect them. So whatever's on TV, whatever's on the radio, whatever music. And then there's frequencies you can bring in that just really bring them home. But they don't even bring your children home, they bring you home. And it's from that place, deep within the heart, that we connect. So just take a breath, close your eyes, and take this moment for you. Take this moment to appreciate yourselves as parents. And know that what you do is enough. And that you're okay. There's nothing you need to fix or change. There's just this place now to accept. Accept your own beauty. Accept your own heart. Accept the child within you. And let them be free. Let them speak. Let them cry. Let them play. And let them be in love. You just take this time each day just to be with your breath entering the body. There's nowhere to go, there's nothing to do, but just breathe. Breathe in that love for yourself and breathe that love all around you. And take this moment to acknowledge the amazing parent you already are. And may you all be blessed. Thank you.
That was absolutely divine. What a gift. Thank you, Heather Jean. That was a wonderful way to just calm, wasn't it? Just to go within and acknowledge oneself in a really beautiful way. So thank you so much for that wonderful gift, Heather Jean.
I find being children into nature is amazing.
Yes.
The natural environment with birds and sound of water, being camping or going out into a park, and that has a relationship with your children.
Absolutely. Connecting with nature is really connecting with your natural nature. So when you do go out hugging the trees and talking to the earth, I've got a beautiful book actually that I wrote called Let's Play Outside. It's just just down there. I've got 2 children's books, and the one, Let's Play Outside, is actually addressing that issue. Tim and Alice, they go to the park and they discover that the trees, the sun, the wind and the earth all give and receive energy. So it's a real adventure story. It's an interactive story. It's reminding the children of who they are and keeping connected. Thank you so much. Absolutely.
And Mother Nature just has that connection with the parents when you go with your children into nature, listen to the sounds and looking at what's happening around you, and if there are animals, look at the behavior. It's so natural, and that's the children's books.
Absolutely, yeah. It's
very important, especially with city children. As much as country children, it's so beneficial.
So it's a great reminder, and then that comes back to being aware also of what you're listening to in your environment, and if we've got the news on or some, I don't know, heavy metal, I don't listen to it, but some people do. But that vibration, because our bodies are 70 to 90% water, that actually does have an effect on the way that we feel inside of ourselves. So you can come down and see me at the Oracle of Sound. I'm at booth number 1. So I've got some beautiful crystal bowls. These particular bowls are the purest crystal singing bowls on the planet, and they're made in the US, and they are one-of-a-kind bowls. So you can only ever get one of these types of bowls. So even if you ordered the same size, the same note, the same Egyptian blue, it's going to be a different bowl. They're not made on a production line, and there's an amazing man, Peter, behind the alchemy of these particular bowls. So they are the medicine of today, sound, and because we're created from sound and light, that just naturally infuses within ourselves and again reminds us of who we are. If you'd like to know anything more about the Magic of You, I have a beautiful training program, the Magic of You for children. It's creative energy play shops for kids, and it's designed for parents and anybody who has a love for children, who wants to introduce understanding the aura and chakras and crystals and angels and nature. And I've developed a program back in 2008 now, so it's 10 years.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. No, that's okay.
But please go down to booth number 1. That's what we'd love to invite you to do, and Heather would love to have you there. Thank you so much.